Okay, so this is like my Q&A, whatever, get to know me introduction video. So I'm supposed to just talk about me and explain the purpose of the videos and who I am and make the connection, intimacy between the audience and myself. So here goes. My name is Nicole. If you know me really well, you call me Nick. I've been called worse, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But I am 33 at present, and in my journey, I would say, midway, I guess, through the life experience in this body. I have 4 incredible children. Everything I do is for them. All of these videos, all of my research, all of my growth is for them. They are incredible. They are nothing but limitless potential, and my goal in this journey is to progress them as far as they can, to give them a good head start, and more so by being what I want them to learn, like being open-minded in my daily life, because that's one thing that I want them to get that is really important. You know, closed-mindedness just limits you. It limits you a lot. It limits you to what you can perceive, and perception is reality. So I want them to be open-minded, so I need to be open-minded too. And I want them to be strong, so I need to express strength in my daily life. And I want them to be curious, so I ask them a lot of questions about random stuff, and we make hypotheses and, you know, posit questions about random anything. Everything is not set in stone. There's always some kind of extension. You can go beyond whatever it is. You know, like my son is really into video games, and he's really good at them, and he wants to design them for people as he gets older. And we talked about that one day, and I was like, you know, it's really cool what you want to do, because you don't even know how many lives you'll touch with your game. I mean, to you, it's just your life, but everybody that sees it, everybody that plays it, as they're playing it, you're giving them a little chunk of joy in their day, or escape from their problems, or whatever feeds their curiosity or their creativity. You're feeding these things for these people. You're shining light, and you don't even realize it. You know, you're just doing something you love, but it's affecting other people, and it's giving them love too, because that was the intention of its creation, and it carries the vibration of that intention everywhere it goes. So he was like, yeah, I never thought about that, but you're right, you know, it would make people happy. And I was like, that's beautiful. You can make people happy doing whatever you love, you know, as long as you love it, you put love into it, whoever sees it, they feel that love. It's great. I mean, you know, little just, I don't know. I try to teach them without lecturing. I try and give them opportunity without giving them coercion. I like my children to make choices, you know. I let my 3-year-old pick out her own clothes and mismatched shoes and backwards underwear and whatever. She does it herself, because I want her to be independent. I want her to be strong, and I want her to know how to make choices. Small choices, big choices. You gotta let them do it, you know. I know people that still dress their kids. Their kids are in middle school. They still pick out their kids' clothes. And it may seem like something small, but it's not. Everything, they learn from everything, you know. They don't even know how to pick out their own clothes. They're 12 years old. You expect them to be able to say no to drugs, and they can't even say what color clothes they want to wear? This is not helpful. But, you know, to each his own, and people are very particular about how their kids look in public, and people are very particular about, you know, what their kids' hygiene is and whatever. I mean, cool, you know, but I don't know. I'm a different kind of mom. Very open-minded, very chill. My son says I'm really chill, and he likes that. I'm like the most chill mom. But I'm also kind of a gypsy hippie type chick, so you know, definitely not a suit and tie Definitely not a stay-at-home mom. I couldn't be a stay-at-home mom anyway. I go crazy in this house all day. But I love my house, don't get me wrong. If you know anything about me, if you could walk into my house and not have ever met me, know nothing about me, and you can learn so much about me from my house. Legit. There's nothing but pictures all over the walls. Pictures my kids draw, pictures of my kids. I mean, there's art everywhere. And anywhere that there's space where there aren't pictures is like Sharpie with something written on it. Like, you know, my meditation notes or inspirational quotes or stuff that I'm studying and I'm trying to figure out, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I put it on the wall so I have to see it every day and think about it subconsciously. If you walked into my house, you would think, oh, this woman is messy and crazy and chaotic, but you know, that's how my mind is. I put it out here because it helps me organize it. But yeah, I'm messy. I'm not nasty, I'm just messy. Like, you know, I know where all my clothes are in the floor, wherever they belong. Like, don't judge me. Or judge me, I don't care, whatever. I am a Hermetic Theosophist in that I study and involve the majority of my energy into Hermetic Theosophy and occult knowledge and ancient secrets and ancient wisdom that has come down in allegory and hidden forms and pictures and symbols from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Like the most ancient sacred stuff that nobody wants to talk about now. It's hard to find people for me to talk to too. Like, I'm so grateful for my Facebook groups like Ancient Mysticism. I love you guys. Because it's random, but it's always on topic, you know? Like, there's always, I mean, you got your random people that are like, well, you know, God and the devil, and let's talk about this. And when you're at a level of philosophical knowledge, theosophical knowledge, hermetic knowledge, that you've been into it for a while, you are so beyond God and the devil and Jesus and Satan, and like you're just beyond that. Like, the Bible is adorable, but let's not use it as a solid reference. You know, like, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, all references are just somebody else's words. But when you travel all over the world in literature, you can see the development of a puzzle, and the pieces are hidden everywhere. And once you find this piece, you connect it to this one, you connect this one to that one, you connect that one to this one, and then you're like, oh, that's why the Aborigines had this, and the Mayans had this, and the Nordics had this, because it all fits together like a fucking puzzle. And it's beautiful, and it's maddening. And the more you learn that there is more to learn, which is great and maddening at the same time. But you gotta get that hunger. That's what happened to me. I got the hunger for knowledge, the hunger for more. I'm so curious about all things that they don't want me to know. Whoever doesn't want me to know. I'm so curious. You don't want me to have it? I want it. I need it now because you don't want me to have it. And I'm an anti-vax, so you can judge me for that if you like, but you can't vaccinate your kids and then give them organic food because it's counterproductive. Like, you can't be crazy vegan and still vaccinate because you're defeating the purpose. And you know, people, I mean, baby steps. You know, if you want to keep your kids vaccinated, but then, you know, get them on a good nutritional diet, that's a step. That's good. That's not for me, because I still feel like veganism is imbalance, but it's a healthy type of imbalance. I don't know. I mean, that's just me. Whatever. I'm not judging people. It's not for me. And you know, my kids, I'm a pescatarian, so the only meat that I eat is fish and specific types of eggs. But I don't eat any other meat. And, you know, my kids, they like meat. So I cook meat for them. And I take my portion out before I add the meat to it. I don't give them pork. But I don't tell them, no, you can't go get pork. I just don't buy it. So you're not going to get it here. But I mean, I cook them chicken, and I cook them beef, and I cook them, whatever, turkey, I try and, I do implement, like, almond milk, and my son's the only one who doesn't drink the almond milk, so I get him the, like, the Fit Life organic cow's milk, extra filtrated, like, barely milk. But I just, I don't want extra chemicals in my kids. Like, I don't want extra chemicals in me. Why would I want to give it to them? If they want it, go get it. Sure, if you want it, I'm not going to make the choice for you. I'm just not going to make it easy. So do what you do. And same thing, like with church. My son goes to church on Wednesday nights with his friends, and he loves it. It's a great social activity for him, and it's a safe environment he feels. So, do what you do. You're 12 years old. Do what you do. I'm not going to go with you. But, you want to go? I'm not going to stop you. Because I gave you the power to make your own decisions. And how am I going to trust you if I don't give you the opportunity? So do what you do, enjoy yourself, be respectful wherever you go, be open-minded, and don't drink any blood or eat any flesh, and we're good. But yeah, so, okay, the Q&A, yeah, I don't like to categorize myself. So I'm not going to say I am. I'm going to say I participate in an occupation that gives me the opportunity to serve people on a daily basis. Strangers, regulars, travelers from all over the world. They come in, they sit down, and they're hungry, and they're tired, and they're busy, and they've got stuff to do, and they've got drama, and they've got bills, and they've got kids, and they've got schedules. And for a good 45 minutes, they sit down at my table and forget about all that. And we have a conversation, and I say, oh, I like your sweater. Oh, what a nice, whatever. And we talk, how's your day going? And what do you guys got planned this weekend? And, how old are you? And what kind of grades are you getting? And da-da-da, just start conversation. Just, my name's Nicole, and I'll be taking care of you. And whatever you need, I got you. And if we got it, I'll make sure you have it the way that you want it. And, whatever's in this kitchen, I got you. If you're thirsty, you don't even have to tell me. I'll notice your glass is getting low. You won't have to ask me. You'll never be thirsty at my table. You'll never go home hungry. I'll make sure you're good. I'll do this for you. For 45 minutes out of your day, you have no worries because you got me. And that's a beautiful thing. I love to be a waitress. I don't know why. A lot of people are like, oh, you're just a waitress. And I have a degree that I don't use, that I've never used. Most waitresses do have a degree that they don't use. But I just like waiting. I don't know. It's not what I wanted to do when I went to college, but it's sort of essentially what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in service. I got my degree in human services with a gerontology specification with a minor in Alzheimer's. I've got over 100 hours of hospice volunteer work. And, I like elderly. I like that generation. Those people that spent their whole lives working and caring for us and our parents and our world, building what we take for granted. And I feel like they're definitely not appreciated as they should be. Like, I don't care how good of a person you are. If your mom died alone in a hospice center, you're not that good of a person, like you're an asshole. I haven't seen my mom in 20 years. But if she called me right now and said, either I come live with you or I have to go into a home, I'm gonna be like, well, come on. I'll take care of you. I'll change your diapers and make you food and pay back all the time that you did that for me when I was in diapers and couldn't make my own food. I got you. She would never do that, but if she did, I would take care of her. Not because I feel obligated to, but because I wouldn't trust anybody else to take care of her right. I'm older now. I'm big enough to squash the beef, and understand the need comes before the want. I get that. We don't have to be friends. I can still take care of you, you know? But anyway, that's how I feel about elderly. I love elderly people. And beer, equally. Not like I'm a drunk, but I'm a craft beer snob, so I love beer. I love craft beer. I love the creativity of it. You can put anything in beer, and it's delicious, and it's drinkable, and, you know, craft beer, I could drink like 3 and I'm done. Like, I'm good. Whereas, like, if it was like Bud Light, it'd be like 6, 9. But yeah, no, I don't want to drink that much. I just want to drink a couple and be good. But anything you put in your mouth, anything you put in your body, obviously, you should appreciate. And you appreciate it more when it's more pleasurable to the taste buds. I know some really good brewmasters that are creative and intelligent and very talented. Chefs, really, you know? And that's a skill that will always be handy. And women were the first to make beer, so we should have a connection to it. Women servants, actually, in Egypt. But I think that aside from mommyhood and elderly and serving and beer, the most interesting part of my life is my research. And so what happened was, when I was 27-ish, 26, 27, Christmas was my favorite holiday. And I grew up Lutheran. And Lutheranism was my mother's rebellion from Catholicism. She grew up Catholic. So she raised us Lutheran, and she thought that was, you know, her rebellious or whatever. So I grew up Lutheran, which is very traditional. It's almost like Catholic, but there's no, you know, worshiping Mary and worshiping the saints. You only worship, you know, the Trinity, which is still idolatry, but whatever. So I was putting up the tree, and it was my favorite thing to do. Christmas was my favorite holiday, and the lights and the warmth and the energy and the food and the people and the love. I loved Christmas. I wanted to explain to my children, as we put up the tree, who were at the time like 3 and 6, and we had 2 at the time, I wanted to explain to them the tradition of the tree and why we put it up and where it came from and what it means and all that, because I like to teach, you know, everything should be done on purpose, and there should be an educational value to mundane tasks if there can be. So I started researching the Christmas tree and the origins thereof, which led me down a rabbit hole of, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I'm so sorry. I've been worshiping all this extra shit on accident. I'm so sorry. Which, you know, you don't have to get on bended knee and speak to a deity to worship it. You know, you just keep their traditions and you do it unintentionally. But I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying I was Christian, now I'm not, which is what started the research. So I was researching the tree, and then I got into, you know, Easter, and I got into all the holidays, really, and then that leads you into astrology, naturally, because it's all astrological anyway. And that takes you to questioning the Bible, which is also astrology in an allegoric form. And then, you know, I went from the Bible to the Book of Enoch, which was mind-blowing, like incredibly mind-blowing. I had Mormons that would always visit me, and I studied the Book of Mormon with them, and that was really cool. And it was, the thing about Mormons is they just know with all of their heart, whatever they're saying, whatever's coming out of their mouth about God, about Jesus, about the Book of Mormon, they just absolutely believe it with all of their heart, which is strong, a powerful energy, probably why it's so capturing. But they're very family-based too, so it's comfortable, you know, like, oh, we're very supportive of families and the family culture, and we revolve our religion around it, which is cool, but it's still Bible-based and therefore limited. So like super limited. Like they can't even have coffee. Like you will never see a video of me not drinking coffee because that's what I do in the mornings when I research, when I have time to do all this between mommying and working and paying bills. I drink coffee. That's what I do. I do decaf occasionally. For my daughter, she likes coffee and she can't have the caffeine. Her dad won't let her have it. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll cheat the system and give you some decaf. Because that's one thing about me. I won't tell my kids they can't do something and then do it in their face. So I like my research is good. And so I'm writing a 3-book series. And it's essentially just all of my study notes just compiled into one book or 3 books, you know, as they progress with levels. Like the first book is called A Beginner's Guide to the Mystery Sciences. And it's essentially just the most basic knowledge of mystery sciences. Like the shit that it took me 2.5, 3 years to find and research and discover, the shit that I'm building my knowledge on, the bottom level shit. That's the first book. And it covers, you know, the intro is like, this is what the book is about. What is mystery science is the first chapter. The second chapter is, where did mystery science come from? And the third chapter is, why do I need this in my life? And then from the 4th chapter on, it's just knowledge. Boom, 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 boom. Notes, study notes, boom, about this topic, about this topic, about this topic. It's essentially just a notebook compiled into a book. Like, that's it. These are my study notes. Enjoy, you know, learn what you can from what I learned and build on it. And never do I ever say this is the complete knowledge of this topic. I'm always like, this is just what I know. This is my interpretation of what I've studied and read. And I could have it completely wrong. And I could read the same thing at a different level of consciousness and realize that my thought process was wrong then. It's different now. And that's cool. I'm totally acceptable to new ideas, changing my whole perspective of old ideas. Because that's how you grow. That's change is growth. It's beautiful. And I love that. So I'm never going to be like, well, I'm absolutely right and you're absolutely wrong. And, you know, the earth is round and the earth is flat and da-da-da, and this is how it is. Because, you know, I don't know. I've never gone far enough off of the earth to tell you what shape it is. So I'm not going to try and estimate. But I can tell you what the ancients say. I can tell you what Enoch said. You know, I can tell you what they say. Tell you what Thoth says. That's it. That's all I got. So, the series of videos that I'm doing is like, well, essentially I'm reading the first book out loud just to hear how it sounds and just to hear myself speak about it, because I want to know if it makes sense saying it out loud, if I need to add more, if I need to elaborate more. My editor is incredible. Very knowledgeable on the subject, and he's very helpful with his, you know, critiques and stuff. He's like, you know, this line here and this line here is great, and these whole paragraphs I love, I wouldn't change a thing, but this one right here I would change this. And I put a lot of me in the book, so it's like I write like I talk. So there's a couple places in the book where it's like, I'm just saying, and he's like, you should take out the I'm just sayings. And I'm like, but that's me. You're saying take out the me. I don't want to take out the me. When my kids read this book, they're going to hear my voice. They're going to hear my voice in the words without the videos of it. Like, they're going to know, because it's me. Like, people that know me, they know that's me. And really, the books are for my kids anyway. The whole purpose of me trying to collectively put my notes into one, like, comprehensive book was for my kids. So I have all these notebooks of notes and stuff that I was writing, you know, while I was researching, and I'm always researching, but, you know, I have one for each kid, you know, and I was like, well, this is going to be your book, and this is going to be your book, and, you know, but then I was like, well, they need, I mean, yeah, it's cool that they could swap the books and put the pieces together, but if they're in different states or countries at the time, you know, they won't be able to do that. So I need to compile all my notes into one book and give each one a copy so that they can, you know, not have to spend years of their life researching like I did, which is, it's an adventure and I like it, but it's time consuming. But the two, I'm like, you know, what if when they're hit their Saturn return and they're interested in their, you know, spiritual studies and whatever, what if they don't have access to these books, you know? So I was like, well, I should definitely I mean, there's a couple like ancient tablets and stuff that I legit wrote down word for word, just copied my translation word for word so they'd have it. But then I also added my, you know, my added commentary to do that. But so yeah, that's me. Just a regular person, like everybody else. I love my life. I love everything about my life. There's nothing about my life that I don't absolutely love. And I'm simple. I'm very minimalistic. I don't have much, but I don't aim to have. I aim to become. I'm always in a constant state of becoming. And things that I value are intangible. There's really not much tangible that I value. My favorite thing that I own is my first notebook from studying. I don't know, like that's it. I don't do much. I spent all of my 20s doing too much. And I don't do that anymore. Now I do minimal, and I have more. Not stuff, but I am more. Because I do less. Less is more. And the videos will be different, you know, depending on what I'm doing that day. Most of them will look like this. Just me sitting in my little corner of the table. My research corner. I have my computer and all my books and stuff. And sometimes I'll be wearing makeup. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll be crazy full of energy because I've had 3 cups of coffee already. Or sometimes I'll be tired because it's too early for me to be awake and I just had to rush to get everybody off to school, and like, and now I can finally sit down and take a breath. I really just want to nap. Sometimes there'll be kids running around. Life is ever in motion, and I love my life. I love the momminess of it, and I love the humility of it, and I love the simplicity. I have just enough. It's just enough. That's all you need. It's just enough. Anything else is greed. Anything more than what you need is greedy. I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. I just want enough. Just enough to get me by. From this moment to the next. Because the next moment is whatever I want it to be. But yeah, so that's the intro video. Welcome to me. I'm all about learning, and I'm all about teaching, and I'm not at the level where I could teach everybody at every level of consciousness, but if you're curious about things or knowledgeable about things, then we should hook up and have a connection where we share light, because that's the purpose of light, is to shine in the darkness. So let's do that. Let's be lights that shine in the darkness, because darkness is everywhere. So anyway, that's me. You'll figure out progressively as the videos continue what we're about, what we do. We're an interesting breed, us Hermetic Theosophists. You could say gypsy, hippie, star children, whatever you want to call it. I'm open to whatever, because at the end of the day, I don't fit into any category. That would just be boring. Okay. Till next video. Love and light.